Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Dead Space on the PC on Impossible difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty. And we are on chapter 11 of 12. It is entitled Alternate Solutions. And this is, as you can see by the title, and if you've been following the guide, we're only using the plasma cutter. So if you open the door and do not go past the threshold, then you will not get hit by that exploder. We will see him in a minute. This first fight is really heavy on the enemy, so you're going to need a lot of ammunition. I mean a lot, plus an equal amount of stasis. So I've always enjoyed this pun right here. No God, no fear. No God, no fear. Scrawled on the bathroom wall right there. So, where do they put... Okay, so what you want to do is grab all the ammunition and dispatch the pregnant and dispatch the exploder. Now, the thing about the exploder that is in this part here and in the next part, if you burst his belly, he will birth lurkers, 2 of them. So try to stay away from that, because that could wreak havoc on your run. So the only reason I say to save it after this is because what they do is they start you above before you descended the lift, and you have to kill those 2 enemies again. They don't save your progress. So it's one of those situations where if you try to hurry it, you'll never do it. But if you're methodical about it, moving the marker that is, then you'll have hopefully no issues here. Now we have tentacles here. There's 6 in total, 2 on near each of the railings. Now the first thing you want to do is take care of that exploder, because you don't want to be moving the marker. Well, first of all, you cannot move the marker if those tentacles are slamming down on the platform. So what you want to do is just stay away from the... It would be nice if the enemies got hit by the tentacle, but they do not. So what you want to be doing is staying in one of these corners. And by the way, before I saved it, I went down here and opened the contents of all the lockers. And I didn't have enough room in my inventory, so what I had to do was carry all the items up. I actually just threw them with the kinesis module up to the upper platform. So if you don't know how to carry items, maybe I'll talk about that a little later when there's less going on. So now, what we need to do is you only really have to take care of the tentacles in the middle, because then you can just use the middle to go to the other side. But what I'm going to do is just take care of this one here, because they actually snuck up on me on the end, because I was just trying to get to back to where we came from. And if you really want to save ammunition, just don't do this. What they do is they do a flailing motion, and then they attack the platform, and then they're vulnerable. So if after they do their flailings, if you want to just wait to be extremely precise on them, that's the best way to kill them. So what you would look for is for them to hit the platform, and then they'll stop for a moment to give you an opportunity to hit them. So now the next spawn is not going to occur until you move the marker a little bit up. Well, let me just get the perspective right. From here, we're going to just drag it out of that little hook that it's in. But first of all, we need to take care of... If you back off too much from these guys, they just drop and they won't come back up. So you've got to approach them. Just approach them so that they aggro. But just don't go any closer, because they slam just right next to them. They won't go at a diagonal and try to hit you. They're not that intuitive about their hits. So this really only took me 1 try, but believe me, I was very much struggling when I was first trying to do this. So we've come up this far. Now just be on the lookout for enemies. But I don't think it's extremely necessary, because the spawn, as I mentioned, it's when you move the marker up that the enemies will spawn more. So we're just going to clear this guy here, the second of the two that are in the middle. And just remember there's two more on the other side too, but if you don't go over there, you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm spinning the camera around to see if anybody's coming, and they're not, because I have not even moved the marker, so we haven't triggered any of the spawns that come when you move the marker. So drag it, and then when you hear the enemies, just stop dragging it, because your attention needs to be on these enemies. It's nice that there's not an infinite amount of them, so try to avoid situations like this if you can. See, to rectify that, see how they had boxed me in on either side, so just stasis each of the enemies on both sides, and then just run back. This can be pretty overwhelming if if you're too preoccupied, I should say, on killing the enemies rather than methodically stasising them, going back and forth, and just keeping that mental counter in your mind. How long has it been since I stasis this last guy? Am I at risk for him? Is he becoming stale? Is that wearing off on him? So I got scared. You see the guy on the ground? Just always try to be conscious of who's been killed, because I wasn't right here, and it cost me the only hit that I received over here. Aside from a missile that I believe the lurker threw at me. This scared the holy shit out of me right there, because I had just assumed he was dead, and then he stabbed at me from the ground. Cheap bastard. So that's all the enemies for now, and then there's just one more spawn, and they occur when you move the marker up to about where I need to stop it right here, because you'll hear some music. Okay, my bad. They should be all dead. This next spawn, it comes after you lock it into place. So you'll have to forgive me. I am on top of things here. It's just I haven't done this for a very long time, and I just finished it, so I know what's going on. So you guys, you're in capable hands, and I want to help you, because certain situations in this game, they do stand out as being markedly difficult. So another jump, that really scared me. Was not aware he was coming. So that's the first enemy in this next spawn. And we've got a couple of these really tough necromorphs here. Watch out when they strafe. And what I would suggest that you do is when you get these guys stasised, it's hard, isn't it, to resist killing them, because there was a lurker behind me, and what do? You have to divide your attention, like right here. Stasis all the guys over to the left, and then just kill this guy. Pick your priorities. I would say that the lurker, he's just too writhing. He moves all over the place, so you've got to get him out of the way, because he can go up on the walls. It's hard to keep track of him. So I grabbed him right there to make sure that he was dead. But it's a lot of enemies. A lot of bodies, a lot of bullets we had to use. But that's it. So now we just have to go back up the lift. Now, do you see? Watch what happens over here, because, like I said, it's been a while since I did this, and these tentacles almost hit me. See, I wanted to go this way, and if there were any incentive other than just the joy of killing them, which there isn't much of a joy, since it's just a tentacle. They haven't really done us too much wrong in this game. They don't instant kill you either, so it would just be the difference of having to use a med pack or not. But I heard that blast, and I couldn't orient myself, but at least I froze them in time. So I would say that this is a pretty difficult fight, and in the next chapter there's one, possibly two, that will give you trouble. So just stick with the guide. We're going to get through this, and hopefully you'll get your trophies or achievements. Although on Steam, this no trophies or no achievements, excuse me, are supported, so I don't get achievements. But anyway, that right there signifies that I've upgraded everything. So everything that I own and possess is upgraded all the way. Okay, so after over here, you want to save your progress, and then we're going to be going to the store. You'll probably have a lot of things that you want to trade in, if you're doing a run like this, that is. So, down into the elevator, and we have a... Okay, so anyway, we're going to be reuniting with some of the past pieces of the set pieces from early in the game, particularly Chapter 1. And we're going to be picking up the Peng statue, which, if memory serves, it's worth 35,000 to trade in. So it's essentially buying a new suit. Anyway, the tripwire point, I believe it's right above those stair risers. You're going to get the screen's going to go into lockdown. You want to position yourself over here, but you also want to be aware where the vents are located. There's 2 vents over here right above me. One over to the right a little bit, so you're going to be seeing me stasis these enemies quite heavily. And also, because the problem is when you're zooming in, the field of vision is cut off quite severely. So I aim out, and even if you don't see me aim out, it's because I'm holding the trigger, or the left trigger, and just keeping... I know there's an enemy, basically. There he is right there, son of a bitch. I knew, because I've done this a couple of times, I knew he was going to jump down, and it was only a matter of time. You see, a room like this, again, I did it no damage, but I think that would be fun, to do it no damage. Just really fun. And the reason I didn't do it is, like I said, I haven't played this for a couple of years, and I just didn't remember how everything worked. But just keep getting these enemies killed in your crosshairs with either the horizontal or the vertical axis of this gun. And there's just going to be a lot of limbs here left over. So we've moved up from the slashers to these highly resilient necromorphs. So there's the Peng statue. It's visible in Chapter 1, but you just don't have the kinesis module to pick it up. I think it's kind of, dare I say, cute to have something like that in the game. But fuck that flame fuel. What do they give you, like 60 for it? 50? Interesting fight coming up. A lot of the fights in this game, you're moving things, and whilst moving the object in question, you'll have spawns. So there's going to be 3 spawns up here. The first one is triggered by your proximity. I love that. I just love this fucking game. Anyway, so there's going to be many lurkers. There they all come out from the left and to the right. So pick up these canisters. There's a lot of these canisters. If you can, get 2 in one shot. Try to get 2 in one try. That's what I did. At least I tried to do it. I don't know if that second one got killed. But just put these in your crosshairs. Take cover. The lurkers have 2 attacks. 3 if you want to count the one that they jump on you. I guess I would count that. So they have 3 attacks. They do a swipe at you. That one right there. They do the missile attack, and then they also do that jump on you. So just be very aware here that there's many of them. Keep moving the camera. There's a lot of stuff all over the place here as far as pickups. So I picked it up all off camera. And this is kind of complicated to figure out what exactly they want you to do. The fastest way to drag these is to get close to them. So we're moving the marker into the shuttle, and you're going to get a second spawn coming up, but it's not going to come up until you move the tracks. I think the tracks just need to be adjusted over here. So it'll come to a resting point right there. That means you interact with the button here to move the tracks. Grab onto it again. Now you can't push it forward anymore, so you have to push it up there. It's going to stop. You need to push the switch again. So so that the tracks rotate, and then you could bring it back to where you were, and then we could continue to move it over to the left. Halfway over there, you're going to get a spawn of 3 leapers. Okay. So we're going to drag it over here. But it might be 2. I couldn't figure this out because there's a couple times I did this. Let's see, there's 1. Get these guys killed very rapidly. The problem is, I'm really worried when I do these sections. That's a badass move that they do right there. I'm worried about these. There's 2. Only 2 of them? I swear there was 3 the first time I did this. But 3. I'm worried. I try to do these no damage. That's what I'm trying to do. But anyway, so that's wave 2 of 3. Wave 3 of 3 is coming, and it's just composed of more of the lurkers. So I will be pointing out something about the marker in a second, as far as what happens specific to my campaign. So just keep moving it. There's no more enemies coming. It's going to stop right there to the resting point. Turn the track, drag it all the way over to you, and all you have to do now is push it so that it's under the shuttle. Although I didn't drag it all the way. Okay, here's that third. Here's the third spawn. And like I said, it's just these lurkers here. There's not as many as there were in wave 1. There might only be 3. Possibly 2. So what happened over here was that I thought I had to access the panel before. So actually just keep pushing it forward here until it says objective complete. I didn't push it forward all the way, so I apologize for that. So what's going to happen is I went to the panel, did a little mental edit. Then I came down here, got all of the loot except the flame fuel, and then I went back up, pushed the panel. Nothing was happening. So from up here, you'll see another edit where I had to use a kinesis gun or module to drag the marker just a hair's breadth away from where it needed to be over here, right under the shuttle. So just drag it all the way over there, and then Dr. Klein will ask you to restore the gravity.
Okay, it's in position. Still having trouble with these damn loading controls. Isaac, restore gravity to the room. I should be able to load the marker then.
He should be appearing on the screen.
Loading cargo shipment 7.
Okay, it's loading right now.
It's on board. Please.
What else did I want to say?
Together we can stop this hive mind. We can end this nightmare at last.
Anyway, he's over there to the left. So we're going to go back the way we came. We can't save our progress quite yet because the door across the distance, see it right there? It says standby. So he's going to get, I think he gets sniped or something. So he's going to perish. There's a long loading, kind of, I don't know, maybe he's a necromorph. I mean, maybe he's definitely an ally. That's all I know about him, but maybe he got infected. So I skipped all the dialogue with Kendra. She means well, but she has her priorities. She's not too bad. So we're going to come up here, and we're going to be facing a guardian in a second. So open the door, run up the ramp, and we'll face him. Okay, so we're going to head up here, open the door, and there's going to be a couple of already spawned pods. Now, the easiest way to get out of the way of things like that is a simple strafe. And I wanted to do this no damage, and it was those first couple of hits that kept hitting me. Nothing else hit me. So don't worry, there are more guardians coming in the next level. The next level is, I might have to reconsider. I really do like chapter 7, Into the Void, but I also really like the last chapter. It's got one set piece that's just magnificent, gorgeous. But Nicole's going to be in here, and she is going to have us engaged in a long conversation of sorts. We're going to save our progress, grab the power node, and the semiconductor that's on the floor, And it should be one of Isaac's first clues that she's, well, I won't say it, but her ethereal nature, I should say, is going to join him in the shuttle. And one conversation stands in the way of us getting to chapter 12. It is a did I say I meant confrontation if I said conversation. These guys, when these guys close in distance, they close in the goddamn distance. Look at that. Again, this would be another really fun part to I was going to say disintegrate. What the fuck am I talking about? It's really early in the morning. I can't sleep. I'm so excited about my future. I can't even sleep. I'm so excited about the future that lies within my grasp once I complete this project and have the final playlist, have the secret message. So we're wounded, we lack stasis, but we'll recover by the time we get to chapter 12. Take care.